So I'm involved in developing Christian leaders in Peru and beyond, specifically through the Arrow Leadership Program, which I head up in Peru, and also through being the chair of the Board of Governors of the International School in Arequipa, which is in the south of Peru. And the story of God's mission throughout history has been of ordinary people being used in extraordinary ways for his purposes. And I'm privileged to be just a grain of sand in that story, with a focus on developing Jesus-centered leaders to impact their local communities and the society around them.
So I work in missionary care, which is often called member care. And I do that in the context of Latin Link. I serve on the Latin Link's international core team, where I coordinate member care at international level. And I also work with the churches in Peru in developing missionary care for their missionaries and for the church as they send more and more missionaries across the world. And I stepped into God's story in mission right since I was a child. And that really, God just kept putting opportunities before me and drawing me more and more into his mission. And a very key part of that was serving on a Latin Link step team in Bolivia when I was a student. And that really began a love and a passion for Latin America.
So our Arrow leaders are men and women who come from all over Peru, from different denominations and backgrounds, leading in and outside the local church. And the main impact is in terms of their identity as leaders and being led more by Jesus, learning to lead more like Jesus so that they can lead more to Jesus. And for many of our leaders, it's the first time that they've had a mentor, someone to come alongside them each month to listen and build into their lives as Jesus-centered leaders. And I think of one leader who graduated from Arrow last December, and this is what she said. My experience was extraordinary, a time of learning in all areas, but above all, it has allowed me to heal many wounds, to know myself, and to have a new vision for true leadership.
So within my role in Latin Link, I work with my international member care team, and we're really trying to promote a proactive approach to member care where we really try to limit our members falling into problems like burnout or depression or getting overwhelmed, and equipping them well so that they can serve and grow in resilience. And in my member care work in Peru, it's really exciting to see many Peruvians take up the missionary call, and they're going right across the world. But the church doesn't have the experience in sending that the church perhaps in the UK does. And so we're getting alongside the church to help to train them, to walk alongside them, to support them as they send their missionaries, and also to attend to some of the needs of the missionaries when they return. And one thing that we've been able to do recently, we started to work with the missionary families, Peruvian missionary families, and so we had a number of events in the course of a month. And one of the lovely things was that we were able to, we've been able to walk alongside one or two Peruvian missionary families whose children were really, really struggling, and we've been able to get them the professional support that they've needed, as well as to encourage them. And one of those families is already planning to go back to the country where they've been serving. That's a difficult place to serve, so they've been really helped and strengthened by the support of the team. This time last year, I completed my dissertation, which was part of my an MA that I did through Redcliffe College, which is now merged with the All Nations College, about member care. And my research was based within the Peruvian mission movement, and it's been completed. And I've had the opportunity in March, just before coming back to the UK, to share that with a number of pastors and people who took part in the research. And feedback that I received was really, really positive, and people just really encouraging me to get that research out there, which has always been the plan. So when I go back to Peru next month, one of the things that I really want to be doing is to take up opportunities to share that research further, so that the church can get a sense of what it's like for the missionaries on the ground, and the needs that they have in terms of being sent before they go in discipleship, mentoring, things like that. The needs on the field, the struggles and challenges that they have, so that they can support them better, and also so that the mission workers themselves can be better prepared before they go.
So, being a part of a community with members from such diverse backgrounds, but with a common mission to see God's kingdom extended in and from Latin America, what a privilege. Walking and learning together from one another and being that bridge between God's people in the UK, Europe, and Latin America. So we've actually been on our sending country assignment in the UK since beginning of April, and we're heading back to Peru at the beginning of September. So we'd appreciate prayer as we settle back into ministry in Peru. And if you could especially pray for this current cohort of Arrow leaders. They finished their time on Arrow in December, and we've got a new class, Class 3, starting in October. So it'd be great to pray for them as well. And also for my leadership in the international school, that the school would continue to be just such a strong Christian witness in and beyond the school community. Thank you.
And for myself, if you could pray for me as I work with my dissertation and get that into perhaps a written format that could be shared with people. And I really think it's important to get it into sort of a format that people on the street will be able to understand it, and for opportunities as well. And then as well, just for much wisdom and grace in my mentoring and pastoral conversations, and informing new policies within Latin Link about things like mental health and burnout, things that are really important for us and we need to be really thinking more and more about and be prepared for. Thank you.